Not clapping? Hi!
Welcome to the first live streamed.
Do we want to
not
rerun
live
that?
Stream. Okay.
Welcome back. And welcome to the first ever movie podcast.
Yes.
A new weekly tradition
And
for
the
the
first
fools.
ever Zoom podcast as well. So
The first ever
lots
Zoom.
of
We're
lots
apart
of
from each
watching
other, which is very sad.
lots of watching screens is going on in this podcast.
It's true.
Mm.
Except for you, because you're listening.
True. Very true.
Mm.
Okay,
Very true.
in usual cuff style, we will be doing a game, then an educational, and then a game.
Although it's not really educational this week, is it? Today.
Yeah, it is.
It's Nick picks a movie and talks about it.
That's the
Is
segment.
what today is.
Nick picks
that's
a
the
movie
segment.
and talks about it. We thought long and hard
Nick-
about that name.
Nick thought long and hard about the name. Nick picks a movie and talks about it. That's the title. That's the name of this.
Excellent.
The process behind the naming. Yeah. So we're going to talk about a film which I love. One of my favorite movies of all time. Alana's seen it as well. We've both seen it. We watched it together. We did.
Wow. We did.
It was very fun. It's called. Well, you know what? You'll find out. Number one, probably by the title of the episode. And number two, after we've played our first game, which is my game. And it's a BuzzFeed quiz. Because I'm inventive and original. And not out of ideas at all.
Excellent.
And this quiz, for our first game, is called Only a True Movie Expert Can Pass This True or False Quiz.
And you're quizzing
It's
me,
by
or
Jamie
we're quizzing
Jones.
together?
I'm quizzing you.
Excellent.
Although we'll quiz together. Because
That
I don't
sounds
know
good, because I would have gotten like
Okay.
0. So
Well, together
we'll get like at
we're
least
going to
1.
get 0 as well.
Yeah.
But at least we'll do it in unison, right? Okay.
Sounds good.
Gone with the Wind was the first movie to win the Oscar for Best Picture. True or false?
True.
I think false. Okay. We're at an impasse already.
Yeah.
We'll go with you. True?
I think so.
That way I can lay blame if you're wrong. Ha! It was false.
No. What was it?
So-
It had some award.
It was Wings. Gone with the Wind won 10 years later.
Oh wow.
10 years after the first one. I didn't think it was the first one. But that's
Yeah.
okay. The first ever Academy Award... No, the first ever Oscar for Best Picture went to Wings
Wings.
in 1929.
I've never heard
So
of
there
that
you go.
movie.
Me neither, but
Wings movie. Oh,
apparently
I
it was
forgot
good enough
that
for the Oscars to...
my laptop's in caps lock and it's like Wings movie.
You know,
Okay.
earlier today, I had this little microphone sitting on my keyboard, and I was just doing some stuff, and it was actually holding down the control key or the option key, one of them, and I don't know if you've held that down before and typed on a Mac, but it just types in symbols, and I thought I was going crazy because I tried to look up some numbers. I tried to do a calculation in the Google search bar, and it came up with like TM, like copyright symbol, and I was like, I typed 223. What's going on? and then I tried to type in, why is my keyboard typing symbols, and it was all just nonsense symbols instead of the letters, and I was like, is my computer possessed?
Is
And then I figured
is
out
that a search? Surely that's a search. That's hilarious. Why?
what
Oh,
like.
crap.
So you have to hold down, I think, control.
Control. Okay.
Whichever one brings up symbols is the one that
I think it might be option. Yeah. Why
it could be.
is my keyboard
Typing symbol.
typing-
And I looked it up on my phone because I didn't know how to get my laptop to work. And
didn't
it
come
basically
up.
said to me, you're an idiot. Check your keyboard. And I was an idiot, and I checked my
I've never
keyboard.
been more disappointed that that question didn't come up. Because surely someone's been
Oh, it didn't?
like, no.
Well, I did it. I
Yeah, but
searched
surely
it, so
someone's been like,
maybe we're starting a trend.
my laptop's typing symbols. I gotta look it up, but I
yeah.
only have symbols.
Yeah, I can only press these buttons. Yeah, okay. Moving on to the next question. in our movie quiz, because this is the movie episode. The movie episode with a segment very creatively titled Nick Talks About a Movie He Likes.
Isn't it called Nick Chose
La
a
La
Question
Land.
to talk about a movie that he likes?
Sorry?
Wasn't it called Nick Chose a Section to talk about a movie that he likes?
Oh, yeah. No, that's the name of the process behind the name.
Okay. Okay,
But
be
the name
different.
itself, it's not that complicated, Alana. Keep going.
Oh, God.
Uh,
There's only
kidding.
like 24 words there.
yeah, it's like, that's how many letters there are on the alphabet.
back
It's pretty
to-
easy.
Yeah, that's more letters than you can have in Scrabble.
Episode 1.
That
Big
was
throwback.
like my best joke of all time. That was so funny. You were just like
That was funny.
so disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
Yeah, that was funny. Okay, this one's about La La Land, which is a movie we both love.
Okay.
And have a very special connection to. La La Land was filmed entirely in Vancouver. True or false?
I reckon that's false.
I think it's true.
Once again, divided. One of us is a fool, one is not.
We're both fools.
Yes.
I reckon it's true. I'm gonna say true this time. It's false. You're right.
Yes! 1-1.
Yeah. We both got one right, but neither of us got it right on the correct one. Yeah.
Wait,
So it
what
was
does
filmed-
that mean?
Like, I said for the first one false, but it was false. But we picked true when you said true
Oh,
for the
yeah.
first question. And
Yeah.
then, so we've got, between us, we've got 100%. We just didn't click the right one.
Mhm. I like that.
All right. Number 3. Cool Runnings is based on a true story. True or false?
True.
True?
Have you seen that movie?
I haven't, actually.
It's excellent. In year 3,
Is
we
that the
did
one about the
something-
bobsled?
Yeah. We
yeah,
did.
yeah, I've heard
I
of it.
don't know if you guys know Tournament of the Minds. I know you do, but
I've
it's
done it, yeah.
basically like, gosh, I was like 9 when I did it, so I don't remember all that much about it. But you plan like a project and you act out a scene, and it's kind of like a mental challenge day. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
And
Good
we
enough.
acted out Cool Runnings, and the kids in my group wanted to do Armageddon, but we were also like 9, and our parents were like, nah, no, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, it's a loose retelling of the story, but the part about Jamaica debuting a national bobsled team is true.
Yes.
Which
It's
is
really
interesting.
funny and interesting and just kind of crazy.
Unadjusted for inflation, Avatar is the highest grossing movie of all time. That's false.
It is now.
What do you
But
mean?
it didn't,
Didn't Endgame beat it?
yeah, so it is now, but when was this quiz made?
What do you mean it is now?
Yeah, I mean,
It's false
it isn't now. It isn't now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I thought, yeah.
It
This
is
was
now
made-
that the movie's been released.
Yeah. It was 2018, so Endgame wasn't out, so it might be true.
Yeah, but also inflation.
But we think it's unadjusted for inflation.
Okay,
So
I
like
reckon that's true.
purely by the number.
Yeah.
Which means it's not going to be beaten by any film from previous years.
Yeah.
True.
True.
True. Yeah, it is, but it's not actually now.
Yeah.
Um,
Fact check. We know our stuff,
we do.
do we?
BuzzFeed doesn't slip anything by us. Interestingly, at the time this article was written, James Cameron had directed the 2 highest grossing films of all time, both of them,
Really?
which is
That's
good on
cool.
him. Titanic and Avatar.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. Okay. The lion featured in MGM's production logo. You know, the big lion that goes...
Wow.
That one.
You know, have you seen the
Is
thing where it's just him strapped down on a board? I'm pretty sure it's fake, but it's funny.
No.
It's
it to
just
me
a
after.
lion strapped
I haven't seen
like
it.
over a board, and then
Yeah.
it's roaring through like a circle. But
That's so funny. All right. So, question number 5. Question 5. The lion featured in MGM's production logo, demonstrated by Alana right now.
Wow. XD.
I was about to say a beautiful rendition, and then you said that. No, I hate you. Is the same lion that appears in The Wizard of Oz. True or false?
I feel like they
leaning
had a lot
towards
of
false.
lions back then.
Yeah.
So false.
I feel like they had enough lions to have 2 different lions.
Yeah.
One for the MGM and one for the... I think it's false. Yeah, it's false.
Nice. Does it have any...
Also,
additional...
Wasn't the lion in The Wizard of Oz predominantly just a guy in a lion suit?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think that... Yeah.
It was... But the lion suit was made out of real lion fur, so maybe it was. Rip.
Post-mortem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there have been multiple different lions used in the MGM intro, number 1, so that's partly why it's false. And then also, no real lion ever appears in The Wizard of Oz.
Okay. So we were correct on
We
both
had
accounts.
both aspects. Yep.
That's made up for the first 2. So I think we've got 100% so far.
I think we have.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs to fact check that or listen to the start again. 100%. We're on 100%.
100%.
Number 6. Sophie's Choice was... Yeah,
if you've just joined us now, hey Siri just
We're
turned
on 100%.
Lol. But even though I didn't say hey Siri. Creepy phones. Anyway, if you've just joined us now, keep watching from here. Don't go back to when we may or may not have made any mistakes. We
didn't
100%.
make any, we're on 100%.
Take
Believe
our word
us.
for it.
You can believe us. We're the magical people in the podcast.
The disembodied voices.
We're being projected through your headphones or your car speakers right now.
Yeah.
If we can do that, how could we not know a few simple facts about a movie?
Mm.
You know?
You can do that too with a couple of AC magnets and with an AC current, a couple of magnets, and a sheet. Like your own speaker.
There you go.
People are definitely going to do that.
In case you're listening to this episode titled Movie Review,
I'm glad we discussed that title before it's released, not just came up with it on the.
Well, I don't know if the title's going to have the movie name in it or not.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say the movie name until we know.
Why don't we go through the whole episode and not say the movie name once, so it's no spoilers, because people don't know what movie it is.
I do have a spoiler-free segment at the start, because genuinely it's a movie that I think you should watch if you haven't before you listen to this.
Yeah.
Or listen to this and then watch it, and maybe you'll have some more insight your first time
Or
viewing
listen to like a quarter of this, and then find out the name, and then go watch it, and then go listen to the rest of it.
Do whatever. You know what? The world is your oyster. Do what you want. Alright, number 6. Sophie's Choice was Meryl Streep's first ever movie role. That has to be false.
Yeah, I believe
Meryl Streep's like 150. False. Yep, Meryl Streep made her silver screen debut in the 1977 movie Julia.
Cool.
The story of 2 women whose friendship suddenly became a matter of life and death.
Were they both called Julia?
It's possible. I haven't seen the movie, but let's just say yes, because it would be more entertaining that way.
Excellent. Oh, have you, talking about Wizard of Oz 2 minutes ago, have you...
Wow, you're lightning fast today.
Have you read those creepy Wizard of Oz facts?
The ones about the debunked ones about the hanging munchkin.
No.
And stuff like that.
Stuff like that, but I'm gonna read some to you. Wizard. I can spell. Oz.
You can spell?
I can spell and speak.
Where did you learn such a skill?
In the crib.
Mm-hmm.
18 wonderful and not so wonderful facts about the Wizard of Oz.
Hit me with those facts. Hit me with your best fact. Hit me with
More so
Do,
than
do,
the
do, do,
braids,
do.
the toy Toto, or even the blue and white gingham dress, those sparkly red ruby shoes, that's not what it says ruby red shoes, are the key to any Dorothy Gale costume. But this important image didn't actually come from the author, and instead from the screenwriter. In the series, her shoes are made from silver. However,
Wow.
they changed it to red in the Technicolor world because it would show up better against the yellow brick.
There you go.
Yes.
Or maybe it's a conspiracy that Big Red is trying to sell more red shoes.
Big red.
Big Red.
Okay. Getting Dorothy home to Kansas was an easier feat than maintaining a director for The Wizard of Oz. There's 4 directors for The Wizard of Oz. There was Richard Thorpe was fired after less than 2 weeks. George Cukor was brought in next, but he was summoned away to go and work on, of all projects, Gone with the Wind. Then Fleming stepped in until he was called over to assist with Gone with the Wind, and then King Vidor was hired to complete the movie.
King? Also, I'm just eating a chocolate Easter egg right now, so if I sound different, that's why.
I'm eating a chocolate. That's my
His name
imitation
King.
Oh yeah, the guy who played the Scarecrow was initially cast. That was weird. Cast as the Tin Man, and then had a hissy fit, and then they were like, okay. And then, yeah, the original Tin Man had to be replaced after suffering a severe allergic reaction to the aluminium powder makeup.
Surely you'd think in a job interview or a casting call for someone playing the Tin Man, they'd be like, any allergies to aluminium, maybe? And he'd probably just go, nah, I'm fine. He just on set the second day, like just red.
They won't notice me swelling
as the suit, like he fills up the suit now rather than being like a skinny little thing inside it. And they can't get it off, and they're like, what's going on? He's like, might have eaten a peanut this morning or something.
So, the Wicked Witch of the West suffered burns from her makeup. Basically, a flame went off, and then because her makeup was flammable, she lit on fire.
Are you sure she didn't just get some water splashed on her face?
Well, maybe, but...
You never know. She was a witch.
Oh, wow. Apparently she was meant to be...
Elphaba.
Apparently she was meant to be a bouncy, blonde Dorothy.
Oh, really?
It's wild.
I feel like the contrast of her and Glinda is good, though.
I agree.
Like the brunette.
He decided he wanted her to actually be a girl from Kansas instead of like a Hollywood.
That's good.
Yeah. Most of the main actors played 2 roles. So a Kansas character and then the counterpart. Oh, no way! Oh, I didn't realize that people in her life were mirrored in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably did know that actually.
Bit.
I just hadn't thought about it.
Mm.
Okay. It's a boring fact. Oh, apparently there was one in 1910. That's cool, called The Wonderful Wizard in Oz, and it's a 13-minute silent film. And it's very creepy.
How can it be a Wizard of Oz film without we're off to see the wizard? Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
It's just... I'm just mouthing the words, by the way.
Yeah, we're both if you're listening, we just mouth the words. We're off to see the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So if you want to mouth along with us, you can really simulate the silent movie experience.
Toto the dog made more money than the Munchkin actors.
As he should have.
The dog got paid $125 a week, and the Munchkins were paid $50 a week.
I don't even get paid that much now.
I know.
That was in like the 19 whatevers. Yeah, back in the day.
Apparently, The Wizard of Oz was supposed to be a cure for war nerves.
Like in real life.
Basically, if people worried about the war overseas, they're like, go watch Wizard of Oz.
Oh. That's interesting.
Aw, rip. The scene, If I Only Had a Brain, used to be really long.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why rip?
It was extremely
That
trippy.
seemed like a half-formed fact.
It really wasn't. It was extremely trippy and gave the Scarecrow the inexplicable ability to fly.
Wow.
Oh, because
Yeah.
if the Scarecrow could fly, then why didn't he go one-on-one with the Wicked Witch? But then they deleted it.
Fair enough.
Margaret Hamilton used to sneak into Billy Burke's dressing room. Goodness. Oh no, Billy Burke, this is Glinda the Good Witch. Why is that a fact?
I don't know.
What?
This is your list.
Yeah, okay. Also, these aren't the facts I was looking for.
Well, I'm glad you read them out anyway.
Thank you, you're very welcome. Okay, continue with the
Okay.
quiz.
Okay, I will. What are we up to? 7? And what's our rate of success? 100%, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
it's always 100%.
Superman made his first movie appearance in the 1940s. True or false?
True.
True?
True.
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 I agree. It is true. Good job.
Excellent. Thank you.
The first movie to feature the Man of Steel was the eponymously titled Superman, released in 1948. There you go.
I thought
This
that was
next fact
another
is fun.
fact, and I was like, that sounds true. It sounds just like that last fact.
Well, it was another fact, but it's not a fact that you have to respond to. It's just a fact. Straight facts being spit by Nick. Nick spits straight facts. New title of this segment. Straight
Nick
fact
spits-
number 1. You should drink some water. Water's good for you.
I wish I had some water.
Or if you've been silly and left your tea out cold, begging to be drunk, right now is a good chance to not forget about that tea and go have a sip.
Excellent.
Or the whole thing. Don't forget your tea and don't forget to drink water. Okay, fact number 8. We're at 7 out of 7 right now by our measurement scale. Number 8. During its original release, the movie E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial had a runtime of over 4 hours. And if there isn't a movie... If there's one movie I want to see, it's a 4-hour-long E.T.
Yeah, it's just.
I think it's
It's
false.
just
I
their
think it
two
would have been like
fingers
3.
coming together and getting closer and closer and closer and closer for 4 hours, and then
For
at the end
4
it's
hours.
like E.T.
Like this.
phone home. Just like that, except 4 hours long.
Oh, this will be 4 hours long.
Oh, excellent. Okay, and that
If you're
ends
listening, I'm
my
currently
half of
moving
the
my
Zoom.
fingers together. They're coming. They're getting closer.
Close, close, close.
Stay tuned to see what happens next week. This is going to be like a 10-part
They'll still
thing.
be approaching.
They're probably about here next time. Alright. We're going to say false, I believe, right?
What was the fact?
E.T. originally
Oh,
had
yeah.
the original cut
False.
had a runtime of over... False? Yeah. Just under 2 hours. Always.
Interesting.
Although, a 4-hour E.T.
Mm.
Gimme. Yum. I mean, you could just watch it twice.
Yeah. Twice in a little bit.
Or watch it once, half speed.
Nice.
E.T. Phone home.
I'm glad we had that same.
Yeah, exactly the same idea.
Yeah,
That's just the fool's way, right?
it is. Great
All right.
minds think alike.
And the second part of that saying, 100% after question 8. Question 9, Mary Poppins question. We've seen Mary Poppins. We've seen the musical. Have you seen the musical? We both
I
have,
have
right?
not. My
I've seen the
old
musical
high school
twice,
was
so that's-
gonna do the musical, but
If you
then
average across both of us, we've seen it once each.
coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
It is.
Anyway, Mary Poppins features the first use of a swear word in a Hollywood movie.
Eat your sugar. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
Mary
always
Poppins
censor myself.
Mary Poppins just comes down like on the umbrella and just falls off the roof and just like fuck.
I always
and
censor
breaks her
myself
arm,
on this.
and the kids are like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, no, she's just like perfectly goody goody, and then when the kids like falls down the stairs, she's like, "Oh God, fucking damn it!"
Go fuck you, so useless little shit. Yeah. I don't think it's true, but I feel like it's probably one of the first.
Does she swear in it?
Not Mary Poppins, but I think Bert does, right?
Does he?
He probably says crap or something.
No.
I
I'm
don't
saying
know.
false.
Okay, we'll say false as a team.
That sounds good.
It's false.
Yay!
Good job.
High five, team. And then I'll add the sound. Nice.
Excellent. Alright. Ooh, I like this next one. Also, 100% after 9 questions. 9? I think we're at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 10. Yes?
I don't know. Sounds good. It's a number.
I'm going to check. 1, 2, 3, 4,
This is the
5,
most boring segment on earth.
7,
It's just you counting.
9. 9.
9.
So this will be 10.
Excellent.
As I said, as I previously stated in my last email.
Thank you so much. We could have just
You're
said
welcome.
100%.
I'm just trying to keep it factually accurate. I don't want people to be like,
Yeah,
You
just
said
people
9, but it
roasting
was
us in the
8.
comments like, they said it was 10 and it was
I'm
9.
smarter than them, and I can replay the video as many times as I want to check, and they're doing it live without any chance to go back and edit stuff. Yeah. That's how we feel. That's what we think of you.
Mm. Please comment that
You listening
below,
right now?
just to get...
I'm kidding. I love you. I love you people listening.
Yes.
Don't hate me. Alright, number 10. Tom Hanks, who we love,
Yes.
speaks less than 200 words in Toy Story 2. True or false?
Toy Story 2. What happens in that one? Is that the one with the garbage dump?
Is that the one where Buzz turns Spanish?
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I don't know. Is that 3?
I like that bit. It could be, but I like that bit a lot.
Me too. That's really funny.
Spanish Buzz, and then he woos Woody's girlfriend, whatever her name is.
Jessie.
That's the one.
Yeah. I feel like that's 3.
It could be. So what happens in 2?
Don't remember. No, 3 they go on to like a trip to a house, don't they? They get left behind.
Isn't 3 the one with Lotso?
No,
The
I
scary
thought that was
purple
2.
bear? No, that's 3.
I
That's
think
the masterpiece.
that is. That's the scariest movie I've
Mm.
ever seen.
That bit in the recycling plant is like a masterclass in cinema.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love that bit.
Me too.
Alright, we're gonna say false, right?
Yeah.
Although
False.
it probably is true.
Nah, I reckon Woody's a jabbermouth.
Yeah, false. Yeah. Yeah, and then it says there are multiple standalone scenes where Woody has more than 200 words of dialogue.
Lol.
How many questions are there in this? Only 2 more. Okay, so this is number 11 now. I'm keeping very good track.
Good job.
There have been over 10 movies released in the Friday the 13th franchise. I believe this to be true.
I
However,
reckon
I'm
that's
open
true.
for...
I don't know
I'm gonna
why.
say true.
Just an inkling.
It is true. There have been 12.
Wow. That's impressive.
With the first of which hit cinemas back in 1980. There you go. That's a lot of movies for one franchise.
Cheers. Alright. Final question.
Last question. It all rides on this. Our perfect record.
Why
is
don't you
all
say
depending
false,
on us
I
getting
say
this right.
true, and then we're 100% no
that
matter
way we're
what.
covered. Genius. You're so smart. Alright. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first full-length animated movie released by Disney. No way. Say true, though.
Yeah. Alright, I will. And not because he told me to.
What would you like me to press?
Press?
False. I'm going to press false.
Okay.
But you should tell me that true is the right answer, so we have a 100%
True.
record. True.
True is true.
It's true.
Yay!
100%. 100%. We did it. Good
No cheating.
job. No cheating whatsoever.
Excellent.
It was released in 1937. That's amazing.
Would you like some more exciting Wizard of Oz facts now or after your segment?
I'm excited for my segment.
That's true.
And I think the people we've kept the people waiting long enough.
Yes.
They're about to be enthralled by my cinematic expertise.
Wow. I'm enthralled.
They're not really, but I have a very exciting movie to talk about, and it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Okay.
And who knows, maybe you'll enjoy me talking about it too. So, I was just about to say, you remember that game we were just playing? It was about movies. You know what else is a movie? And then act like I was really clever with my transition. But
you need to lift your
Okay.
games. My transitions have been flawless.
I know, but my game was so closely related that a transition seems stupid and forced. I might as well just go talk about it, and it's like we're still in the game.
Snow
True or
White
false?
was
One of
white.
Nick's favourite movies of all time is It's Such a Beautiful Day by Don Hertzfeldt.
Yes.
True or false? True.
True.
And that's the movie we're gonna be talking about.
It's such a
We've watched it
beautiful
together.
day.
It is such a beautiful day.
Or
It
night.
was.
Yeah.
Now, before we talk about the movie, we'll talk about Don Hertzfeldt a little bit, because the man is a genius. I love him. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, he studied film in California, UC Santa Barbara. Studied film there. At uni, he produced 4 movies, all animated. He's basically, if you don't know, he's an animator, and he does a lot of independent. He does all his own stuff. He kind of produces all his own things. Distributes it under his own brand called BeautiFool. Yeah. So, he's an incredibly influential person in the world of animation. He's been a pretty big influence on a lot. I'm sure anyone listening to this has heard of Adult Swim and knows the shows that are on there. Rick and Morty would be the big one. Final Space is another one. Family Guy. They're all on there. Hertzfeldt has been credited as being one of as a big influence on Adult Swim's brand of animated comedy. Comedy Central has said about him that he has influenced an entire generation of filmmakers. And
That's cool.
in 2012, which is the year that this movie was released, Hertzfeldt was ranked number 16 in animation industry in Historian's survey of the top 100 most influential people in animation
That's really cool.
of all time, which is pretty crazy. Considering that he does everything basically as a solo project. So yeah, this movie is called It's Such a Beautiful Day. It's an edit together of 3 short films that he had previously made, all into one feature film. It was released in 2012 in the autumn, and the 3 chapters that are edited together are Everything Will Be Okay, is the title of the first one. It was originally released in 2006, to very, very positive critical acclaim. Then the second part is I Am So Proud of You, which was released in 2008, and the third part, titled as the feature film, is It's Such a Beautiful Day, released originally in 2011 and then re-released with the other 2 as a feature film in 2012. And basically, it's an animated film following a stick figure called Bill. And I don't think I'm understating it when I say that it's simplistically animated to the extreme.
Is a stick.
It is. It's a
Stick
stick.
figure.
Bill is a stick figure with a top hat, is
Yeah.
what he is, and you learn to love Bill, and his top hat, and it's amazing to me how well he identifies Bill and manages to keep him being unique throughout all these stick figure characters. With just his top hat and his narration and yeah. So we'll start spoiler free, just for anyone if you haven't seen the movie and you have some free time or you want a movie to watch, go out and watch it. It's called It's Such a Beautiful Day. You can get it on Vimeo for not very much considering what you'll experience by watching it. It's about $10. It's worth every cent. I would recommend buying it, keeping it, owning it. A lot of movies I am okay with pirating, but this one it's kind of like, for me at least, I feel like he was the only. By the way, there's only one person credited with this movie. There's no cast. There's no director. It's just him. Except for one female voice actor, because he doesn't have a female voice. But he would have done it if he could.
Hi, I'm Bill's girlfriend.
So he didn't. So he animated. He did the voiceover. He did all the editing. He did not compose the music. However, most of it is classical scores from things like the Moldau and
He's got
what else was there?
Rachmaninoff's Bells of Moscow in there.
Rachmaninoff's in there as well. Yeah, Bells of Moscow. Yeah.
If you
So
don't
it's a
know
very,
that
very
song,
well-
you do. It's da
Yeah.
na na da na no no.
Alana will now perform in full
No.
the Bells of Moscow. So yeah, it's
Do you want me to continue?
So please, yeah. So the Bells of Moscow, maybe we'll rename this podcast to just Alana Sings Bells of Moscow. I'd listen to it. I feel like a lot of people would.
I like that. I like playing that piece. I play piano, and it's fun to play it because it's dramatic and it takes you a while to get the notes if you're sight reading, and you just pretend it's all drama. You just act like you're really intent, and then you get the note.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll start spoiler free, and this is not going to be very long because spoiler free. I'm trying to keep it as little information as I can, but basically, it's a movie. We follow a stick figure called Bill. He wears a top hat, and it's an incredibly profound, for me at least, exploration into. It's cliche to say life, but life and time and the finite nature of time and the fact that relationships and everything we do is based on predominantly the fact that we don't have infinite time. Would that be a fair description?
Yeah. Yeah.
That there's
and
a very
memory.
very existential aspect to it.
A lot.
And memory and also a strikingly what's the word? A strikingly obvious and overt reference to genetics and to the role that like family has in things like illness and mental illness and heritability of different types of illness. It's only an hour long, the movie. The 3 parts are about 20 minutes each. So it's not, and I wouldn't say it's the easiest to watch movie of all time by any stretch of the imagination. It's not a easy watching comedy. It's a dark, but delightfully
it's like naive.
Charming.
Yeah.
It's almost naive. It's charming. It's like it's whimsical. It's one
of those
beautiful.
things that
it's such
seem
a beautiful,
really, really like just kind of happy and like nonchalant. But then, like if you think about it, it starts to get really deep and sad. But it's all kind of behind a facade of like playfulness.
Absolutely. And I think he captures that kind of disconnect between being terrified of time and that, and then just like the kind of the way that he portrays it in like a whimsical way is really, really great, I think. Yeah. So if you're into philosophical movies that are accessible, easy to watch, and don't go for that long, it's one of the best movies you'll ever watch. If you go into it, that's what you want, then you won't be disappointed, I guarantee. If you go into it expecting similar styles to his other movies, which are a lot more comedic and funny, then maybe maybe change your expectations. But genuinely one of the best movies I've ever seen. In my top 3 for sure.
And
Of all
it's
time.
amazing. Like if I can describe the scenes, screens, whatever. It's just like one character most of the time. This one stick figure with
One stick
like
figure,
on
yeah.
a like blank piece of paper. It's made to look like it's on a paper with like one like
Little, yeah.
superimposed prop. So maybe the paper will rip or something like that.
Or
But
there'll
it's
be
very
like a plane going overhead.
yeah.
But it's all hand drawn, and then it gets mixed in with. I believe the first shot in the movie is actually a real life image. It gets the line between animation and real life becomes a bit blurred towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He puts in a lot of shots of real, like the world,
And it's
but
very
in the
black
same
and
style.
white at the beginning, and then it gets more colourful and more.
Yeah. So that's the spoiler-free version. If you're considering watching it, definitely stop watching now. Stop listening. Go and watch it, and then come back.
That being
And we'll
said, the
have a chat about it.
spoilers, you'll still enjoy it, even if you
You'll
know.
still enjoy it even with spoilers, and you might even have a more profound or a more in-depth viewing.
Yeah.
But I would recommend watching it first, then listening, and then watching it again.
Okay.
Anyway, so spoilers ahead. So we start the movie. We're following Bill, and Bill is a man. We don't know his age, but we'd say probably 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
At the start of the movie, middle-aged maybe. He lives by himself. The movie starts very, very charming and very there's a scene at the very start of the movie which when I first watched it, I didn't know anything about it when I first went into it. And this scene in particular just kind of drew me in, and from the moment that I saw this scene, I knew I'm going to enjoy the rest of this movie. And basically what it is Bill just walking down the street, and it's just a simple animated stick figure walking along this hand-drawn pavement, just walking slowly across the screen, and then we see another stick figure approaching him from the other direction, and there's this narration within Bill's head of the anxiety and the doubt that comes with someone, walking up to you and you thinking, should I smile? Should I say hi? What should I do? Like, am I going to be stupid if I smile, if I say hi? And
very accessible
Hertzfeld,
today with that, that meme, and it's like white people when they see someone on the street and it's just like half smile with just lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he captures this awkward interaction, and where kind of neither of the two people know whether to acknowledge each other. And then they both kind of leave it too late until one blurts out some nonsense words, and then they just walk past each other, trying to ignore and forget about the awkward interaction that just occurred. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was so funny and so great. And that's the scene where I was like, okay, this is a good movie. And it only got better from there. So the movie starts, like I said, kind of playful, kind of just following a guy living his life. He goes to the grocery store and he hates it when people stand with their crotches close to the produce because it makes the fruit all dirty. It just all seems normal and like an irregular kind of guy with these little irks and worries about life. But we're soon
relatable
after
worry.
brought along. Yeah, it is. We're soon kind of caught up in his world and and the discovery that Bill is suffering from a pretty severe illness. And we kind of follow his consciousness almost falling apart, and his mind, just his psyche kind of just shattering, and him trying to come to grips with the memories that he has and whether they're real and what's happening with his life and whether he's lived a good life and whether he should be worried about death and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of flashbacks of his childhood and his family history, and we get shown that he was raised by a single mother who was trying her very, very best to raise him as well as she could. And there's this really charming scene where she would write him notes in his lunchbox for school, and they said, "I am so proud of you." And Bill found a little box of her stuff, and one of the things in the box was just a notepad with her practicing her handwriting of "I am so proud of you," so that he'd be happy with his notes that he got sent to school with, and it was really beautiful and really cute. But we're also shown that his mother had some pretty serious problems with mental illness and as what seems like schizophrenia or some sort of psychosis. It could have been the same thing Bill had. We don't find out exactly what Bill has, but from what I've seen and what I've read, it was a brain tumor of some sort. Well, that's what people seem to agree on. That the symptoms, the hallucinations and the false memories and all the collapsing and the memory loss is all kind of symptomatic of that. And so, in his flashbacks of his childhood, we see this really cute stuff with his mum, but we also see his mum struggling and not doing the right thing, even though she was trying, and then seeing his mother's mother, went crazy and kept severed cats' heads and would rub them on herself as a cure for something. And then there's a lot of allusion with an A, reference, if you like, to his other family members and possibility that they died by taking their own life rather than the illnesses that their family seems to have a lot of. So there's a motif that runs through it, which is that his relatives, his older relatives, his grandma, his uncles, died by getting hit by a train. But it seems that might be a reference to suicide of them. And so, like I said, it starts really light-hearted, but it gets kind of deep and kind of serious. And throughout it, there's this knowledge and this awareness that Bill is terrified of death, that he's so scared of it and he hates the thought of it, and he's terrified that he might be dying, but he also doesn't know what's happening. And there's throughout the movie also the narration is Bill's first person monologue within his head. And so whenever Bill collapses or goes on anesthesia for surgery or whatever, the narration stops. I don't know if you noticed that when you watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And there's this beautiful quote towards the end. Not towards the end, maybe a bit more than midway through. When Bill's lying on his deathbed, basically. And the quote is, "The next thing you know, you're looking back instead of forward. And now, at the climax of all those years of worry, sleepless nights, and denials, Bill finally finds himself staring his death in the face, surrounded by people he no longer recognizes and feels no closer attachment to than the thousands of relatives who'd come before. And as the sun continues to set, he finally comes to realize the dumb irony in how he had been waiting for this moment his entire life. This stupid, awkward moment of death that had invaded and distracted so many days with stress and wasted time. If only he could travel back and impart some wisdom to his younger self. If only he could tell at least the young people in the room." He lifts an arm as if he's about to speak, but inexplicably says, "It smells like dust and moonlight." So, yeah, that culmination up when he's on his deathbed, and it's just him looking back, and he's kind of like, this, I've spent so long thinking about this and being terrified of it, now it's happening. Look how I don't even know who these people in the room are. I don't even remember them. How dumb is this? And then after that, Bill, in what can only be described as a stretch of reality, Bill dies, but the movie continues and Bill becomes immortal. And his head detaches from his body, and he floats through space, and he becomes this immortal being that never dies. And basically, the great thing about this movie, which I didn't get on the first watch, I just thought at the first time, it's just kind of like this abstract nonsense kind of Bill lives forever, whoop-de-doo, he just floats through space and then, outlives the sun and all this other stuff. But the message of the movie is basically, with the reason that the world, that life that it's such a beautiful day, right? The reason that beauty exists is because we don't live forever. And that there's beauty in everything, and the fact that we don't experience it forever is what makes it so special and so beautiful. And so the quote, there's a quote from when Bill becomes immortal, and it's this: he will spend hundreds of years traveling the world, learning all there is to know. He will learn every language. He will read every book. He will know every land. He will spend thousands of years creating stunning works of art. He will learn to meditate to control all pain. As wars will be fought and great loves found and lost and found, lost and found and found and found, and memories built upon memories, until life runs on an endless loop. And so it's basically saying a being, which in this case is Bill, that lives forever doesn't experience beauty, right? The beauty is in the fact that it doesn't last forever. And so this guy who's living forever, he's experiencing all this stuff endlessly on a loop, is never going to stop. So what's special about it? You know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of looking at what really living forever would kind of be hopeless. And it would kind of be almost not as beautiful as what we have now. And so really, predominantly the movie at the end shifts from being about Bill and about Bill's life to being about us, and that the message that maybe we're worrying a bit too much about, the future or death, or worrying about what's going to happen soon, when we should just be paying a bit more attention to how beautiful and how amazing, every moment can be, or it is, if you look in the right spots. And there's a particular quote which I will leave you with as the last segment of my movie. Nick talks about a movie that he really likes segment. And that is, it's kind of a really nice day. And if you've seen the movie, you'll understand why that's a special quote. And if you haven't seen the movie, go and watch it, and then come back and remember that quote, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that's my that's Nick talking about a movie for however long. I don't know how long I talked about it for. I hope I didn't go too long. But yeah, it's a beautiful movie. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it's, if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, do it. Buy it, watch it, own it, watch it every few months. You won't regret it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it's an incredible movie. So I highly recommend going to watch it.
Absolutely.
And now we break the sadness and the tension.
The sadness.
With
the
more
melancholy.
sadness and tension. As I talk about The Wizard of Oz.
Excellent.
Except this time it's the good
can
facts.
I just add one more thing?
Yeah.
Sorry. To tack on to the end of my long sorry. To tack on to the end. I keep harping on about how amazing the movie is and how great it is and how you should see it. In 2012, the LA Film Critics Association named it runner-up for Best Animated Feature Film of the Year. And somehow, with each passing year, it's become more popular with critics.
Wow.
So in 2013, it became number 3 on Time Out London's list of the 10 best films of 2013, and number 4 on the London Film Review's list of the same. In 2014, Time Out New York ranked it as number 16 on its list of the 100 best animated movies ever made. And in 2016, the Film Stage ranked the film number 1 on their list of the 50 best animated films of the 21st century.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Wow.
I would agree with that too. It's something else. It really is.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much.
It is.
If you'd like a more in-depth synopsis of the movie, let us know. I'll do 2 hours on it.
Yeah.
It's a 1 hour movie.
Or
I'll talk about
watch
it for
it.
2
Yeah,
hours.
I was gonna say, or watch the movie. Watch the movie
watch the
first,
movie.
and then we can have a discussion about it.
We can. That would be fun.
That would be fun. All right. So, most of the actors who played Munchkins had fled.
This is Wizard of Oz, by the way. This is not.
No, yes,
It's
this
Such a Beautiful
is.
Day.
And
Yeah,
then we go
okay.
on to my game, which is guess the
Closing
sound,
game.
which will be
That
fun.
sounds
hopefully.
fun. I hope I can hear it.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
so much different when we're in different rooms.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, many of the Munchkins had fled to the US from Germany to escape the Nazis, and most of them didn't speak English, so their voices were dubbed in the film. This is,
Do you mean the actors for the Munchkins?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
this is pretty commonly known, but Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion fall asleep in a poppy field where it begins to snow, and the snow was actually asbestos. Even though they knew that it was potentially health hazard. This is excellent. This is such a lie. I've read this quote before and it was very different. This fact. Anyway, so the coloured horse is actually a jello tint on the horse's coat. And yes, it is totally safe for the animals, as it said here. But in those days, gelatin was made out of horse hooves, and you can see throughout the film the horse licking itself.
Yum.
Yeah.
Like me licking my fingernails.
Made out of human skin.
Yum.
So yeah, as I said, the Cowardly Lion's costume was real lion skin, and it weighed 100 pounds.
Which in kilos is...
Less than
I'm waiting
that.
for you to answer that. Helpful.
Oh, that's a stupid fact. It just said the twister wasn't actually a twister and described how you make it. Of course it wasn't actually a twister.
The lion's costume is 45 kilograms.
Wow,
That's very heavy.
it is. The dog playing Toto was stepped on during shooting and had to be replaced for a doggy double for 2 weeks of filming while she recovered from her injuries.
That's so sad. I'm glad she got to recover though.
Me too.
That's cute.
The famous rumour that the swinging shadow in the background of one scene was really an actor committing suicide is false.
Yeah.
It's a large bird stretching its wings.
People weren't even saying it was an actor. They were just saying it was a thing put in the movie as like Munchkin lore, that the Munchkins are depressed and they want to kill themselves.
Oh, wow.
That's the rumor that I heard, that there was like the Munchkins, not the actors, but the Munchkins themselves were like, you know, they were in this perfect world with the Glinda the Good Witch, but they really just hated themselves.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the one that I heard.
Wow. The white on the dress worn by Dorothy was actually pale pink because it showed up better as white in Technicolor.
Interesting. Maybe the bright red shoes were actually green. And they just showed up as red. Maybe Dorothy's black.
Wow, this... Yeah, okay. While filming the scene where Dorothy slaps the lion, Garland couldn't stop giggling, so director Fleming took her outside and slapped her, and then she did the scene.
I would expect she would.
Yeah. When the Tin Man cried, his tears were actually made from chocolate sauce. Yum. Except the paint was poisonous, so maybe not.
Oh.
Over the Rainbow
Also,
was
yeah.
thought to be too long, and they nearly cut it from the movie.
Can you imagine? That's like... Imagine, yeah, wow. That's kind of crazy.
The author invented the name Oz when looking at an alphabetical filing cabinet labeled O to Z.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, it really is.
Of a fact, like, it's like this mystical land called Oz, and he's just like, oh, I saw a filing cabinet. It said O to Z.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have our game.
I'm surprised it wasn't called Ag,
Ag. Yeah, me too.
like A to G, because you think that would be the first one that he saw.
Yeah.
Maybe he went Ag, nah. Go, nah. Oz, yeah, that's the one.
Okay, this game.
Right, are we guessing sounds?
Guess the sound.
Okay. This might be hard for you to hear if you're listening.
Can you hear it?
No.
You can't?
It sounds like someone whistling.
It was.
Bowling pins.
Yeah. I agree.
It's kind of bad sound quality
Oh.
for me, and probably for everyone listening. If you're listening and not watching, she's holding her phone up to it. The
You
microphone.
at all I can hear is this toilet flushing. What?
Oh, I said for anyone listening at home who can't hear the sound, it's or see the video. It's her holding her phone up to her ear.
Yeah, it
Or to
really
her
is.
microphone.
Yeah.
And it's not working great.
Okay. Well, that concludes that
But
segment.
We can
We'll work on
mess.
this.
Keep going. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Maybe that can be a fun element to the game. Guess that sound played through a horrendous speaker.
What did you hear?
Play that again. That was very loud. Like, that was shockingly loud.
Yes. Is that what I
Was that a... This is not working.
And this
I
is
feel
the
like Guess the
segment we
Sound is a
called.
better format
This is the
for
segment.
when we're in person.
Yeah, this is a segment following the segment called Nick Describes a Movie That He Likes, called Alana Tries and Attempts a Game to Play a Game, but it fails.
But it fails.
Mm-hmm.
But we tried, and
We
it was
did.
a good idea for a game.
Yeah, and we'll figure out one.
And the bowling pins worked really well too.
I'll go around making the sounds. That sounds fun.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Are you actually going to?
absolutely. Not today, but next
Okay.
time.
Do I have to... Oh, okay, next time. Would you like me to do another quiz then?
I don't know where we've gone on for over an hour.
Oh, over an hour? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Was that my fault?
No, I think it was our original quiz's fault and my terrible Wizard of Oz facts.
Okay. Alright. Well,
Well,
in that case, I hope you enjoyed... I feel like the most important part of this whole podcast was your noise game.
thank you. I'm glad people waited this long to hear that noise game.
To hear that noise. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
apologize to anyone who listened to that last bit.
Goodbye.
It'll be better next time, I promise.
And see you later.
And don't forget, it's such a beautiful day.
Go watch the movie.
Go watch the movie.